also include obviously as well as FRCR, as well as the Caesar, which he has just recently completed. So I have invited him to come and discuss and share his thoughts with us, as well as would be looking for some very good information as to how to proceed your career as a consultant radiologist in United Kingdom. So I will now switch the microphone to Dr. Kashif, and just let me start the sharing of the screen with you. Just 1 second, so I can. Okay, so let's welcome Dr. Kashif Nadeem, and he's going to come.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon, good evening to everyone. And I must thank you all that you come here. And actually, I just wanted to share, because I belong to this place, and I've been through a lot of, like, the road to become a consultant in United Kingdom is not that straightforward. It's a bit lumpy, bumpy. So I just always wanted to share all this, like some tricks and some, like, how to sail through all this process smoothly. And I will just now today share all my experience and all the obstacles and all the things and all do's and don'ts. So that I appreciate that some of you are, like, just starting to begin with the examinations. Some of you may be in the training program. Some of you have cleared FRCR. Some are, like, stuck somewhere in between the part 1, 2A and 2B. And some might be in the United Kingdom, and some might have cleared exam and just wanted to start a new role, or some already has started the job in the United Kingdom and looking forward to do the Caesar and to become a substantial consultant radiologist. So I just wanted to tell you firstly that I have nothing to declare, and I'm just, the sole purpose of this presentation is that I would share we are having some technical difficulties. I just wanted to ask you that can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, fine. So we just thought that that's like we are having a trouble in our studio. Okay. So let me start with my, like, in next 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I will be, like, telling you all the steps which are necessary to the pathway actually that leads you to become a consultant radiologist in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, you can write down your questions in the feed, and we will try to cover and type them all, and we will try to read them and address them all like in the end of the presentation. So you already know that I'm Kashif, and I have done MBBS, FCPS here. I belong to Multan, and I did all my training in the National Hospital Medical College, and then I did my FCPS first, and then I went to Saudi Arabia. I worked there for 7 years, and when I was in Saudi Arabia, I completed my FRCR, and then I moved to the United Kingdom in like in the mid of 2019. And I have got a special interest in GI and hepatobiliary imaging, and I was I had got a chance to do some specialized training in GI and hepatobiliary and abdominal imaging in Italy for 3 months. And last year I did some advanced visiting fellowship in France as well for 1 month. So let's start. So the first thing is that why UK? So why do you want to move to UK, and why did I wanted to? So the first thing is the language. There is no language barrier. We are reading, start from our like school in English language. And so there is no language problem. Like in rest of the Europe, because I went to France and I went to Italy, so they don't speak, or very few of them, they speak English. So you don't have any problem, like, and there is no language barrier. The second thing is that it is a multicultural and multi-ethnic environment, and you can preserve your faith as well, which is very important. Especially the people that live in Indian subcontinent, in Pakistan and India, especially in Arab countries. And then you know that NHS is a prestigious organization, and we are actually and working in a NHS, actually it matters a lot. And when you are working there, so, and when you go back or anywhere, so if like it actually adds tremendously to your CV. And the job conditions are very good there, and you have got a stability of your job. So there is no unforeseen thing. So there, everything is like quite clear, and you know that you know your role, and you know what to do and what to expect. And has got very excellent like work-life balance, just 40 hours. 5 days, and then you have got like a couple of days off in the weekend, and you have got some bank holidays, and you have got about 6 weeks of annual leave. And then the institution provides you with the opportunities if you want to have some extra training, and there are continuous learning like activities going on, and you are supported, and you have got your time like in form of professional leave, and some of your study, you have got your study budget as well, so you can go to the courses as well. So why actually it is quite a, like, there is an like extra incentive for the people, especially from the Arab countries and from the Indian subcontinent, because there is an acute shortage of the radiologists. The job market is very good for the radiologist, not for the patients, or unfortunately, but this is the current census, and you can see there are, this was published last year, and you can read it on FRCR website, and you can see that there are at least 2,000 vacant seats for the radiologists. And by 2025, if these fields, this posts are not being filled, so they will be having an extra 1,000. So they desperately need radiologists. They desperately need people like you. So the pathways to be a consultant. So how you become a consultant? Actually the audience, which I believe is the international medical graduates. So the first thing is, which is like a popular and which is like a more easiest thing, is to do a FRCR. Yes, doing an FRCR is another thing, and it is not very straightforward. And then you go there and you will find a job, and you are being supported with all your activities, and you end up doing your Caesar in like 1 to 2 years time. And then once you have done with your Caesar, you will be promoted to as a role of substantial consultant radiologist. The second route is it's quite difficult. This is like you do your MBBS here, and then you do PLAB. You go there and you do your foundations years, and you apply for the specialty training, and then you complete your 5 years training there. This is very, very competitive. I will come back to this later on. Or you can, there is another pathway which is not very, very like well known, that you can still apply for the Caesar while you are working in Pakistan, in Arab countries, or in or India or any other place, if you have done your specialty examination and training in your homeland. So, but this is very tricky, and why it is very tricky and why it is very difficult, I will tell you in the end. So I mentioned before that you can join the specialty training pathway after doing PLAB, but this is very, very competitive. This is the chart from the Royal College of Radiologists, And you can see, like in the year 2021, there were 353 posts available. And the number of applicants were about 5 times of the post available. So there were 1,677. So for every post, there are about 4.5 or 4.75 to be exact, for like applicants for one post. So this makes it a very highly competitive like an opportunity. So this you need to do something very extra, and the most important thing is that you have to compete with the local trained local graduates. So your chances are really very like slim, I must say. But still you can get some chance by doing something like some observations, some research works. But this is not impossible, but this is very difficult. And the third part is like doing the Caesar directly, which I will tell you in the end. So the first thing, the more popular pathway is doing an FRCR examination. I won't go into the details because this requires another webinar. I would think that if there's a demand, I can arrange another like presentations. So how to go through the FRCR, how to prepare for FRCR, and what courses you should take, and how much time you really require to clear all the examinations and all the stuff. So just to simplify the things, the people who have not been started. So the first part is the FRCR, which have anatomy and physics. You will be having MCQs in the physics module. The FRCR 2A has been changed recently, I think 2 to 3 years back. It has got now 2 papers, 120 papers, and these are single best questions. And I think till last year, it was like a single day examination. But this year they have changed it to a 2 days examination. So you will be having paper 1 containing 120 SPAs on the day 1, and then the next day you will be having another paper containing 120 SPAs as well. And then if you pass that step, then you will be going towards FRCR 2B, which has got 3 components: rapid reporting, long cases reporting, and vivas. The problem is that because of the backlog, because they require a manpower and quite a sufficient number of examiners, which the college is currently lacking. So they just give the preference to the local trained doctors or the people who are contributing to NHS. They are being given the priorities, and I remember that the backlog was I cleared the examination in 2018. And that was in Singapore. So this is all required a separate presentation. But I think that my number was about 600 to 700, something like that, and the wait time was about at least 2 years. And then the COVID happens, and then I think there is again a very significant large number of backlog. But the college has now started some offshore venues, like in Cairo, in Hyderabad, and in Malta. And we had an election for the president recently, and the main thing was that to increase the number of slots for the training post, and second, to clear the backlog for the exam, like the people who are waiting for the examination, especially the IMGs. So once you are done with lab, or once you are done with FRCR, you are going to have registration. So this is a link to the registration, and you can just simply go to the GMC website, and you can follow the link to the types of registration, and you will get all the information that what actually are you going to be registered as, what you are having a provisional registration, which is not for you. This is for the local trained, their local graduates. Because they will get the full registration once they do all their foundation years. So what options are left with us is the full registration after doing PLAB, or after doing the FRCR examination, or we can go for the specialist registration. So this is, we can apply directly on the basis of our like if somebody has done FCPS from Pakistan, so still there is an option that if you can directly apply for the special registration, but this is significantly like a difficult. Why it is difficult, I will tell you later on when I will come to the topic of Caesar. And there's a GP registration which is not for us as well. Then what evidence you require? You require, like, this is again from the website of GMC. You require English language skills. You require your evidence that you are fit to practice, which you have to provide them with certificate of good standings. And then you have to provide them with your primary medical qualification, which is MBBS, and you need to get that thing authenticated from Epic, which has been started, I think, in the middle of 2018. I will just guide you regarding that step as well. And then you have to get your acceptable postgraduate qualification if you are going through FRCR route, or otherwise if you are going through just like a PLAB, then you don't require to submit that thing. So what you do, you collect all your evidence and you scan all the things, and then you send them to the college, to the GMC. And now there is a significant like delays because of the COVID. It is not like 14 days exactly, but it may take about up to 1 month. And they will evaluate all your documents, and if they think that you are all good, then they will further correspond to you, and they may grant you like a registration. And then you have to go for your ID check, which is being suspended for last I think at least 1 to 2 years because of the COVID. But when I did that thing, so you have to go there to the GMC center in Manchester or in London, and they will see your passport, your certificates, or your good standing certificates, and and they take a picture of you, and so they keep all the thing in the record, and they recognize you that you are the same person who has been granted the registration. And if there is any problem, then they will write back to you, and they will give you some time, like 7 days or 14 days, depending upon the problem. And then you have to rectify your like documents and your evidence. And once you are done, then they will give you a registration, and then they will tell you about the ID check if they require it urgently, or if they just postpone it because of the COVID. Regarding the IELTS or OET, this is to prove that you are like proficient in English, and you have to demonstrate that you are good in writing, listening, speaking, and listening as well. So before OET was accepted as a tool for like providing like English proficiency in early 2018, I think. IELTS was the only choice, and you require an overall score or band of 7.5, but you can't like go less than 7 in any of the 4 components. So aggregate 7.5 band with nothing less than 7 in any of the 4 components. OET is a bit easy, but more pricey. It is easy because you have to take this test in the medical language, which is like you are doing since your medical school. So it is not that difficult. So it has again got 4 components, and you require a minimum of B grade in each of the 4 components. But the only thing is that the places were very like there were very few places where there were centers. Like I was working in Saudi Arabia in 2017 or 2018, I think, and there was only one center in the Middle East, that was in Oman, Muscat. So I had to go there. But now you can find the centers in all over the world. Even in Pakistan and India, you can find a lot of centers. So it's quite an easy option to do. There's again like a small trick which you will come across when you will apply for the visa. You will have to sit again for the IELTS, and this time this is IELTS for the UKVI. UKVI stands for United Kingdom Visa Immigration Services. So this is like a bit of a secure type of like examination. The examination is actually the same. You can give at that time, usually it is like you don't need to give academic. You can just give a general examination if you have passed your, if you have proved your English proficiency. But this is like a small trick that or tip you can I can tell you that if you do UKVI academic, if you are like dead sure that you are going to the UK, then you can go for UKVI academic. So if you pass your UKVI academic, like with 7.5 aggregate and minimum of 7 in each of the module or component, then you're all good for your GMC registration and for your visa application. Otherwise, some people, they just wanted to do OET first, and this serves the purpose for GMC registration. And then they go for IELTS as a general for the UKVI. So both are equally good, but if you are good in English language and you are confident, then I would say that go for the UKVI academic module, and you will clear the examination. You have to sit an examination only one for one time, and you will do both like GMC registration, and you will and you can submit this thing for the visa application as well. After that, you have to get your documents, which is the primary medical education, which is done outside the United Kingdom, and your acceptable postgraduate medical education, if it is also done outside the, if you did it from outside of the United Kingdom, you are not working there. So then you have to get it authenticated. This is a portal called Epic. This is just like a screenshot, and this is the link for that. You can go to the website and you can read the special instruction for the doctors applying to practice in the United Kingdom. This is very important. You will read all the instructions, and you will there are also frequently asked questions, so you will get all your queries addressed in this section. I would tell you first that when you are at this step, you need to make an account on GMC online. So you will just put all your details, and the GMC actually that will generate a number for you. That is your GMC registration number. And then you will put, when you apply for the attestation or authentication of any of the document, you will write down that this is for the GMC and your number is this thing. And then they automatically authenticate it and send it, your report to the GMC under your name and under your registration number. So you don't need to provide GMC manually or from your own, they will get it automatically from the Epic. The first step is that you need to make an account on Epic, and they need to verify you. You have to have your passport and your pictures with you. Before that, you can get it from the notary authorization, and you can send it to their postal address. But now they have, I think since COVID, or I think before COVID, they just it's online. So there is an ID check. So there is a person, a solicitor actually, which will give you some time, and you will be on the video call, and then they will check your ID, and they will grant you an access to your account, and then you can upload your documents. There is another hurdle, which is good standing certificates. GMC requires certificates from your last 5 years, even if you are working with any of the regulatory body or not. I can give you an example. I was doing my job in Saudi Arabia, so I was registered with the Saudi Medical Councils, which was called Saudi Commission for Health Specialties. But as well as I was also registered with PMDC. So I have to provide good standing certificates from both of the regulatory bodies. And the format of the good standing certificate, this will definitely include that you are covered to work in that specific country. you are entitled to practice and what is your specialty, and they will also say that you are in good standing. So that means that you are not being disqualified, suspended, or prohibited from practicing medicine. There is another thing, that if you are no longer registered, like I'm not like doing work in Saudi Arabia anymore, but I still have record there, so I can still get a good standing certificate, like up from the past dates, that this person has done the work there, and there was no complaints or there was no concerns. So you can check it on the GMC website, and or you can just go to the medical regulatory website of that specific country, and you can get the information that how to get that one. The most important thing is that you need to do this thing when you are all done, like you have got all your documents sorted out, because the validity for this document is only 3 months. Like once it has been signed on a specific date, so it will be valid only for 3 months, and after 3 months it is invalidated. So you have to apply for a new one, so that will like cause some unnecessary delay. So always bear this thing in your mind, that you require it in the end. So this should be the last document. When you are done with this thing, then you should apply to the GMC. So once you're all done, you are being granted with the registration. So then this is like if you are like having an FRCR, so you can apply jobs through the NHS jobs portal. You can also go to the hospital websites. They also advertise the jobs. And there is another thing which is called track jobs. So everything goes to eventually to the track jobs usually. So track job is actually a portal which is being unified, and then you fill in all your details and everything. You upload your CV and you write all your credentials and you're about your referees and your scope of work and everything. And then they will assess your application, they will shortlist, and then they will ask for interviews. Or other thing is that you just like contact any recruitment agencies. There are so many, and the agency will apply the job on your behalf, and they will notify once you are being approved or shortlisted, and you have got an interview date. So these jobs are like most of the people, they can go directly as a locum consultant, which was in my case. And there is another like a job category which is called SAS. SAS is like specialty or associate specialist. These are the people who have not done FRCR. They have done at least 4 years of training in their homeland, and at least 2 years of those those 4 years out of those 4 years should be in the specialty they are being recruited for. Like if you are going for a radiologist, so you should be having a 4 years training program, but at least 2 years you have done like your radiology training. Or you can go for a clinical fellow or senior clinical fellow as well. So, but because the job, like there are a number of job availables for the consultants, so most likely you will be, or most of the cases, more than 90% cases, you will be getting a locum consultant job. Then you will be having an interview, like 2 or 3 people from that hospital, which may include an HR personnel or the manager of the radiology department or a senior consultant. They will interview you. Nowadays, it is not that difficult. It is quite straightforward because of the very few like people they are going. So they have got lots of number of jobs. They really want to give you the job. So this is not that difficult. This is very simplified. Like they just wanted to know that who you are and what are your intentions, and are you going to be comfortable with them or not. Once you are done with the interview and you are being selected, you will be offered a job, and then that is called, and if you accepted this thing, they will generate an CUS. CUS is a certificate of sponsorship. This is a skilled migrant visa, tier 2, since last year. Now it has another name, which is called a unified healthcare visa. So this is like a super, like they make the process super fast. So you will, once you submit all your documents, you will get an outcome in 2 to 3 weeks. And they have also reduced the fee for that. Previously, it was my time, it was like £463, and now it is, I think, £243. And they also waived off the health surcharge, which was about 400 per year at my time, and then it increased to 624 pounds, but now it is nothing for the people who are coming on healthcare visa. Not only the person who is going to do a job, but the dependents like your wife or your husband and your kids will also get the visa, and they don't have to pay any health surcharge other than the healthcare visa fee. And so you will get an outcome in 2-3 weeks. It is very, very fast, and usually there is nothing that if there is any issues, they can get back to you to provide any documents. Usually they don't refuse these days, so it's fairly straightforward. So you landed in United Kingdom. So what to do? What are you expecting to do? Now you will notify your employer that you are there, and if you are hired by a recruitment agency, they can welcome you, and they can take you to your workplace, and they can even help you regarding your accommodation. And then you go to your hospital, and they will refer to you for the occupational health clinic. They will assess your fitness, and they will also check your vaccination histories, immunization histories, and they will the people going from Pakistan, from India, high-risk countries, they are also being screened for TB as well. And then once you are cleared, then there is a local department and trust induction. They will tell you about the department and the trust, that how the things work. So you will attend those sessions, and you will also get a chance to attend a GMC, like good medical practice session, which is frequently being arranged in all the trusts. So how to practice, and how to raise the concerns, and what to do and what not to do. And once you're starting your job, then you will be provided with your job descriptions. Once again, you will be provided with your job description when at the time of interview as well. So you will be and then you will sit here with your manager and with your head of department or your clinical director, and they will make a job plan for you. And then you just start your job. And once you are there, so there is a requirement that you have to do a Caesar. Caesar is like an equivalence for your what you have done at your home country. So you have you have to get all those things validated against the standards and the radiology curriculum, which is being implemented by GMC through the Royal College of Radiologists. So you are being judged against the UK standards. So if you are good, then you will be granted a Caesar. It means that you are as good as a UK trained local resident. So their pathway is called CCT, and your pathway is called Caesar. So this is quite a lot of this is quite a big thing, and I intend to cover this topic under a new a presentation, because this requires an hour presentation, because there are so many things. This is about 800 to 1,000 documents you have to arrange, and you have to provide them with all your things. And this is also required. Why it is required? Because your trust hire you as a locum consultant. Locum is actually a job that they have advertised, but they have got nothing. So no local candidates they have applied against those jobs, so they are left vacant. So you are being hired as the place. This is just like a temporary sort of a placement, and your contract is 1 year, so it will renew after 1 year. So this is different in different trusts. So most of the trusts, it is 1 year. You have joined today, and starting from today till the completion of your 1 year, you have to submit for your Caesar application, most of the cases, so that they can renew your contract as a locum radiologist. Some trusts, they relax their rules, in our trust, because of the COVID things. So they gave us a 2-year time frame. So in 2 years time frame, you have to submit all your documents, and you show them you have the receipt of that, so that you have done all your things. And because this process is quite long, Before COVID, it took about 6 months to 9 months, but now it is taking at least 9 months to 1 year, or sometime more than 1 year. But you have to submit all your documents because it's a long thing. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you have to be very patient for that. And so what you have to do is that, like, this is just like my GMC account. So what I did, so this is the requirement that you have to submit your training qualification, the evidence, your employment, like history, all the certificates. And then this is a CIP. So there are 12 CIPs. CIPs that you are like a competency in practice. So this is quite a big topic. I'm just showing you like just giving you a glimpse of that this is all things that you have to provide evidence against all these things. So why you have to provide? Because the local registrars or residents, they are doing all the training against these things. So they also have their own competencies signed off by the consultants and by the deanery or by the trust in the same fashion. The only difference is that they do it like when they are on, like they are doing training. So by time, so they are submitting all their documents and their competency is being signed off. But since we have to collect all our documents. So in retrospect, we have to collect all of documents which we did in last 5 years. So we have to give all those evidence retrospectively till 5 years and submit to them under all these things. And then they will review. They will send it to if they are satisfied, they will send it to the Royal College of Radiologists, and they have got assessors. They will match all your documents, all your evidence against their local like training curriculum and their local practice. And if they are satisfied, they will write a report that, and they will provide examples that why they are satisfied and why they request the General Medical Council to grant you Caesar specialty like equivalent certificate. So once you are done with your Caesar, so you are as good as locally trained radiologist. And then at that moment, you can apply for most of the cases, like in my case, your trust, because they have like supported you through all this process, they will offer you a job as a consultant radiologist, which is a permanent and non-substantial role. So you don't have to do anything extra. The things which you are doing is almost same, but your role has been changed. So that means that you are a permanent consultant, and then you don't have to renew your contract after 1 year. So it has got some other perks and privileges. This is like a matter of another debate. So, but yeah, so you must have to do Caesar at some point if you want to work as a consultant radiologist for a longer period of time. Some people, they do like a locum consultant post for 1 year or 2 years max, and then they switch towards like another trust. So it is also doable, but you have to do this thing at some point. So bear this thing is in your mind. When you are there, you have to collect all your documents from your home country as well as you have to do all your practice, keeping all this competencies in your mind. And then you collect all your documents and submit online the scanned copies. And you have to go through this process, which is about 1 year's like long. So I just try to make it quite short and precise. I know that this is not very, very like sufficient for some of the people. There must be some questions, and I'm welcome to the questions. And if you want to comment anything, so you're welcome to do so. Have you got any feedback or feedback?
It was a wonderful lecture, mashallah. So I think like it cleared lots and lots of questions for us. And he summarized the journey in a very nice way. So there are a few questions basically. So you haven't discussed anything about the salary, like what's the salary of a consultant radiologist over there and how much he or she can make? And secondly, what is the locum rate? Like if a person joins as a substantial post, is there any difference in the salary between the substantial post as well as the locum consultant radiologist? And are there any difference between the privileges of both?
Okay, so the first question was, Yeah, the salary. It depends. Like, what are you getting? Are you on locum consultant radiologist role? Are you on a clinical fellow role, or you are a SAS doctor? So, if you are a clinical fellow, that equivalent that will make you like a ST 4 or sometime 3, 4 or 5 sometimes, or 3 as well. So you will get something less than 50,000 a year. And keep this thing in your mind that there is up to 20% of the like tax deduction up to 50,000 pounds. And then if you are earning anything above 50,000 pounds, you are being taxed as 40%. And there is another thing which is called national insurance. And then there is another thing which is called pension if you are if you want to get a pension. So this is like another debate. If you're going as a consultant radiologist, so you will be getting at least you will be getting like 82 or 83,000 pounds nowadays, because it changes every April. So you will get it now I think they have to decide after every budget, and then there is a pay commission. So they suggest that how much there should be a rise in the pay. So, but as far as I remember that if you are a entry-level consultant, you will be getting at least 83,000 pounds per year. So keep this thing in your mind that first 12,700 pounds is your allowance that you will not be taxed. From 12,700 pounds till 50,000 pounds, you will be taxed 20%. And then from from 50,000 to 83,000, the 33,000 pounds, you will be taxed with 44%. So this is a standard job for 10 program activities. I just wanted to avoid all these things because these are quite like very confusing. And to be honest, when I went there, I had no idea that what is program activities and what is the pay and is it like a unified pay? It is a unified pay all across the NHS, at least in England. There's slight differences in Scotland and Wales and in Northern Ireland. But the pay remains same. If you go to any trust, depending upon your like job title and the number of years you worked as a consultant in your home country, if they are being accepted. So, but there is a cap that you can't go above 117,000 even if you have done the service for 30 years. This is currently what it is. If it is changed now or in some years, I don't know about that. This is like a 10 PA program activity standard job. You will be getting at least 83,000 pounds. And the take home, it becomes, if you are not having a deduction of pension, then it can be about something 5,200 or 300 if you are having your pension deduction, because 13.5% will be deducted from your salary if you opt in for the pension. Then it will be about something 4,000 to 4,500, something in between that. You have got an opportunity to do extra work in your in your own department, or you can do a teleradiology as well. Yeah, so here comes, like, you have to, if you have not done Caesar, so the teleradiologist companies, they are not going to give you any work because you are not as good as, you have not established that you are like as good as the local trained radiologist. So the first thing, if you want to go into the teleradiology, like there are 3 or 4, like mainly there are 2 main players, and the third one is Everlight. First is like Medica, then there is 4 ways. So they require you to complete at least 2 years in the United Kingdom as your role as a consultant, and then they require you to complete your Caesar as well. And then they will give you can be a locum, you can be a permanent, but if you have to have your Caesar done, so then you will be getting a teleradiology role. And then in teleradiology, again, the rates are different for your cold reporting and your hot reporting. Initially, they will give you cold reporting and they will assess you. If they think that you are like quite capable, then they can give you hot reporting, like the emergency stuff. Then you can and you can earn more. Or what I did in that 2 years time, that once you are like the department is happy with you, that there is no complaints, nothing happens untoward incident in first 2-3 months, then they can offer you anything extra which needs to be reported, but because of the shortage of staff, so they can offer it to you. That is called wait listing initiative, another like a term which is quite difficult to digest at the moment if you're not working in the United Kingdom. So you can make some extra money, but again you will be taxed 40% of that money because you're already in the highest tax bracket, because it will add on to your like that will be actually like added to your 83,000, so like a basic pay. So you will be taxed for like 40% of that amount. So that is different in different trusts.
So thank you. I think like teleradiology was one of the questions which I was going to ask as well. So, but I think like in summary, what he has told about the teleradiology is like, unless you don't live and work in United Kingdom for like 2 years at least, you are not likely to get any teleradiology work from at least United Kingdom. But one more question is like, as I'm working here in Pakistan, is there any chance like for me to go over there and work for like only 3 months or 6 months and come back? Because this is one of the dream which most of the people like living here dream about. So is there any chance of like working here, going on a summer vacation over there, work for 3 months and come back? Or don't you think like it would be too much for them, the hospital, to sponsor for you to get your COS and all your the costing which you will be incurring in this process? Would it be a viable option or not? Or if a person should go, then he should plan for like 2 years, 5 years, or what's your suggestion about this one?
The question you asked is very difficult. It's near to impossible, because you require a sponsor unless you live there continuously for 5 years. So after 5 years, you will be granted a status of ILR, that is indefinite leave to remain. So at that point, you don't require any like a sponsor. So if you just go there, initially your hospital will issue you a COS, which actually costs them money, and then you also pay for the visa fee. And then you go there and you don't like you just stay there for 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. Then you come back. It depends. Like you come back as a sabbatical. Some hospitals they give a sabbatical leave, and some they can give you like 3 months or 4 month leave of 6 months, depending upon like it's your personal rapport with them. Then you can go back. But most of the case. But again, then if you are outside the UK for 6 months time, in a year, in a rolling year, then you are not eligible for the ILR. Second thing is that you have to do an annual appraisal, and that appraisal is automatically sent to the GMC, and you have to get your revalidation in 5 years. So that will actually affect your appraisal as well, because you are not there for quite a long time. So they can't assess you, they can't appraise you. So that will create lots of problems. So this option is quite like difficult. Another thing is that I don't know that it is still applicable or not. One, like if you go there for 2 months, 3 months, or a year or something like that, and then you call your things off and then you return back. And then there is a period which is called a cooling period. This is for 1 year. Like in 1 year, you can't apply for another COS. Okay. So this is like I won't recommend this thing. Yeah. So if you get your ILR, then you can come back to any of your country. You can go anytime, and you can do a locum jump. Just one more question which I recall now. The locum rates. It depends. Like you have done Caesar, you have done like a permanent. You have done some years as a permanent consultant, and what subspecialty you are in, and how much desperate the hospital is. So it all depends, and this is hourly rate. So it comes from like 90 to 125 pounds, something in between.
Okay, so this means like if you want to plan and go to UK, so like after 5 years, you would be eligible for like coming back to Pakistan, work here, and then go back and do it. Unless you don't have an ILR, so you can't be working there for short terms. Like you have to plan for a long term going. Yeah. Okay, so we have lots of questions. So one more question is SAS a good route? What do you suggest?
Yes, SAS is actually you have done your lab and then you have done your training like FCPS here, and then you will get a trust job, level job or your specialty job. You are not a consultant. If you are very good, they can promote you after a few months, like as an associate consultant with some limited jobs, with limited role. Maybe they may allow you to validate most of the reports, or they will allow you to validate some of the reports, and then maybe they will rotate you as a registrar. So most of the cases you are being rotated as a registrar. You are being treated as a registrar. You have to do Caesar again. So this is a good chance that if you are very desperate, you go there on a SAS role. You either apply for Caesar or you do FRCR. Again, even after doing FRCR, you have to do the Caesar. The reason why you have to do like Caesar because it is the more acceptable thing rather than FRCR. So if you have not done Caesar, you are not as good as locally trained doctor, so you will not be given any preference. So this is Caesar is a must.
Okay, so my next question is like, can you become eligible without FRCR for a locum consultant post? Like, if I rephrase it, can an FCPS work there as a consultant, locum consultant radiologist? So what's your thought about this one?
This is very rare. This thing can happen. I really don't know that. I don't have my I think there are a couple of examples, but I don't know that because I personally think that the route is again that like you do PLAB and you go there, you do a SAS job, you do Caesar, and without doing FRCR, you have been granted a specialist like equivalent status, and then you become a consultant. As a locum, yes, it can be or it can't be. It depends on the local trust policies, I think. So this is quite a gray area. So this is like truly like it's not very straightforward.
Okay, so I think like what I got from the point is like if the trust trusts you, then he can, or that trust can grant you a job of locum consultant. But I think like that would be a very rare situation. And secondly, like if you don't have anything to compare with, like if you haven't done FRCR, so what they are going to compare you with, like how they can assess your standing. So for that reason, I think like either you need a Caesar, which is like preferable route, or at least FRCR to get into UK job system at least. So the next question is going to be from like it's a multi-level question. So it's like, do you have to apply GMC first or Caesar? How can the Caesar be applied like this? Just like just in just few lines, like step 1, step 2, step 3.
So again, you have to read that thing.
So you can just let them know from where to start.
Yeah, so this is the type of registration. You can go there and you can apply for the specialist registration. If you don't want to apply for the PLAB or you don't want to apply for the GMC registration. So once you applied for the special registration, if you are granted Caesar, you are automatically GMC registered.
Okay,
so you don't have to do like separately, but this pathway is very, very difficult. Why? Because you haven't worked in United Kingdom, you haven't done FRCR. Let me let me tell you that if you have done FRCR, then your job is done because they can't disown you. Like Royal College, they can't disown you because they have judged you on their own standards. Like you passed part 1, 2, or 2.
So isn't that like the FRCR is not their exit exam, so it's like a 3rd year or 4th year exam?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They have 5 years training program.
Okay.
So this is requirement that they have to do the FRCR at the end of 3rd year, but they still have training for 2 years after that. The 5th year is a specialist training, subspecialist training.
Okay.
So this is just like how it works.
Okay, so and the next question is like, is it possible to apply for Caesar from Pakistan without working in UK, basically?
I think I have addressed this thing before, that it is possible. Yes, it is. But the chances are like, because you haven't done all these things, you don't have appraisals like that. You don't have
You have
like-
multiple deficiencies, basically.
Yeah.
like-
So some institutes like in Pakistan, I can give you example for Arakan. I know some of my colleagues. They've been graduated from Arakan. They have got the appraisals. They have got research activities. They have got teachings. They have got audits, and they have got like multidisciplinary meetings. So they can provide all the documents. And I know a few of my friends, or seniors colleague, they have done their CSER before attempting FRCR. Some of them they did not attempt FRCR at all.
So they just passed through the CSER and then they
Yeah.
were like a consultant, substantial post.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question is like, which is a bit on the one side, like I said, do you think like EDI is going to play any role in this process?
I have done EDR myself. Why I did EDR? Because I was waiting for my exam.
Okay,
And I've got nothing to do.
So it's like
but-
it's like a craze of EDIR in Pakistan nowadays. So do you think like it's worth paying such an amount? And
You want me straightforward or
yeah, I want to be very straightforward because
if you have got extra money, yes, you can do it.
but
If
it's
you just
going
want
to
to.
show you any standing anywhere in Europe even or anywhere.
Yes, I can tell you that I got some preference when I was selected as a 2018 exchange fellow as from the European School of Radiologists.
I think you went to Italy. I think.
Yeah, I went to
You
Italy.
did.
So that is the point. Actually, that they gave me preference because I did EDR. So I was one of them. According to them.
So yeah, that's
And I could secure like 1 month fellowship in France as well on the basis of that because I got like so that is actually the point. If you wanted to, if you just want to, you don't have to do anything. Then yes, definitely you can do EDR IR as well. But if you think that EDR IR will give you some standing or some job
or any role in CSER.
no, I don't think so. No.
Okay. So another thing, like about the second fellowship in MSK or neuroimaging, do you think like that's doable, like by sitting here without doing FRCR or even after doing FRCR, both scenarios? Like if a person is like trained here, he has done FCPS and he is like now wanting to do some further fellowship. So is UK a preferable area or should he or she do FRCR first and then think over this? Like both economically as well, like
yeah. So the thing is quite different in United Kingdom. It is not a like a dedicated fellowship program. It is actually a work-based assessment. Like you are doing general radiology and you are doing some 50% of your like work in your like chosen specialty, and you have got a mentor and they will assess you and they will write a report for you. So this is how it works in like United Kingdom. So there is nothing like in Canada or in Australia or
United States,
in Singapore.
So where you have a dedicated program.
So yeah, so to reach there, I think you need to do an FRCR.
FRCR. So you just enter their workspace and then start working over there.
Yeah.
So can you get an like a modality of your own choice, like some specialty of your own choice? Like you can go there and can ask them, like I would like to do, say, for MSK. So would they prefer you over?
Yeah.
Like
it depends. Like if you're going to a big center and they have got registrars who are being trained in that subspecialties, definitely they will help you. They are very good in that. If not, then you complete your 1 year or 2 years and then you apply to different programs because you are in the system already. And then definitely you will get somewhere, and then you can just switch off your job to that place. So this is quite doable. Yeah, I would say.
Okay. So one more question, I think, and that's like, is there any agencies or something who are going to help you in CSER, or your hospital helps you in that? And do you think, like I have seen a few job advertisements where they have written like they will assist in CSER. So what's that like?
There is no agency who can assist you doing CSER. First of all, they can give you they can provide you help regarding job placement, and CSER you have to do it yourself. Yes, your hospital will most of the time they will support you. They will support you, like they will provide you all the things which you are lacking. Like they can give you opportunities to do some teaching, audit, and they can give you some leadership role as well, and they will give you some time off. They can also give you have got already some activities in your job plan that like 4 hours, 6 hours, something like that, that is reserved for your all activities, for your paperwork, for your researches, for your CME, so stuff like that. So in that way, they will help you.
Okay, so I think like there are multiple questions about the exact procedure of Caesar, and I think like we will ask Dr. Kashif to conduct another lecture. He will be flying back, I think, on Tuesday to back to his job. He's currently here in Pakistan and Multan, and we are fortunate enough to have him here. So it's like I think like we will be asking him to do another session on exactly step-by-step process of Caesar, rather than like in this we were having a more like a general discussion, and also about the FRCR 1 and FRCR 2 and 2B pathway. We will be having a small sessions that on that as well, like how to prepare for FRCR 1, FRCR 2A and 2B. We will be inshallah continuing all these sessions. So what one question is like, which I think like it's the last question from my side. So it's going to be like most of the candidates or even the residents, when I ask them to like you should be doing FRCR, so they just start telling like, you know, that there is a person who has been waiting for FRCR 2B for like 7 years, like 6 years and 5 years. So they think like it's a very it's like sort of a lengthy pathway. So do you think like it's going to change in near future, or it has changed in the future, or it has changed so far? And like how much time do they keep in mind, like 5 years, 6 years, or like after, so say for today is the day 1, so if they start today, so how much time it would take them to like if they are in the training system? So what's your suggestion? Like, do you think that it's going to be like a bottleneck still for next few years, or it's going to clear out?
I am the living example, you know, that I cleared my FRCR 2A in 2012. And then I cleared my FRCR 2B in 2018.
Yeah, it was a 6 years, but I think like
yeah, I got chance a couple of times, but unfortunately I couldn't, because that was like at 11th hour that I was in like a balloting. Okay. And just like a few 4 or 6 weeks before, they could tell me that, oh, you want to come and
yeah, we
accepted. And we accepted, and it's just like jumped in without any preparation or something like that.
So that's a pure luck.
Yeah, it's pure luck. So I would like personally, to be honest, I would tell you that you should make this thing your secondary like plan, not your primary. You should have something like your bread and butter and your house running up and running.
But still, like, do you think it's worth it?
It's
like,
worth it if you have some resources, if you are like have some spare money, if you are young, you definitely should do this. But if you just want to stay here in Pakistan, it is not going to help you.
I think that will help you. Yeah, at least for me, yeah, obviously. Like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, in Pakistan, what I think is that like whenever you are going to appear in any interview, most of the candidates are going to be like equal. They are going to be FCPS and they are going to have good grades. But FRCR make you stand apart. I think, and even in Pakistan, obviously it pays. But still, okay, still like I think like we can conclude in this way, like it can be done, but it's not the primary thing you should be doing. But obviously, like it is one thing which, if you want, will carry with you. It will help pay you back after at the end.
Agreed, totally agreed. And then you feel like you have invested on yourself, and then you will feel that you have done something, and then you have become more confident. And then you can, like, if you are like very like more on the teaching side or more things like if you just want to like go abroad and do something else, fellowships, so definitely that is going to add you in your like CV. You will definitely stand out, like I did. And then I was selected as like from the EC like European Society of Radiology and the School of Radiology, and then in France I got
the fellowship.
And definitely that is going to help you. And you the thing is that everything is quite volatile, so you have to have your options, so you have something in your hand. So I would say that if you have got some energy in you, you can manage your like some finances, and you're quite young, you can manage your family, then definitely you need to go for that. I would definitely recommend that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. And I think that we'll be taking other questions afterward in the next session. I think like it's quite a lengthy session already. So I would like to thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, and you can ask anything from like
So this is the his
Dr.
contact
Amin,
here.
he's quite good. He knows all the things.
No.
He knows everything. So you can ask him directly, or you can ask me directly as well. So you can contact me from like email, Twitter, which I'm not. I'm just like a silent user on Facebook and Twitter. But if you send me a message, I would definitely like reply you back. So any help, like if I can do anything for you, so I would be happy to do that.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Jazakallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Allah
cheers.
Hafiz.